What's up, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm also going to talk about some key setups that are developing right now. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Also, guys, when it comes to the overall economic calendar, there's not really much coming out for tomorrow. We have the Red Book data coming out at 8:55 a.m. and another Fed speaker known as Waller. That's pretty much it for now, nothing too significant. However, we have Coca-Cola announcing their earnings tomorrow morning, and we have Netflix after market close. On Wednesday, we have Tesla and IBM announcing their earnings after market close as well. So we'll see if that causes any more volatility. For now, the market's been bouncing. SPY has been pushing quite well. However, I just want to make it very clear that we have not broken past the all-time high, which is very close to 674. We need to break that to really continue to squeeze. If we break the all-time high, yes, this could keep going. But also know that we got 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections near the 670s. We also once touched 670 and rejected here. So be careful. There is tough resistance at these levels. And if we get a rejection, we end up closing below 670 soon, maybe by like tomorrow or so. There is also a gap to fill at 664. So that could take us right back down. And we'll see if we get that gap fill or not. So I'm watching to see, do we get a rejection near this range between 672 and 674, or do we break out of the 674s and be really, really bullish? Honestly, guys, it's hard to predict because we can't really, know until we see confirmation of a move, until we get some kind of news catalyst or whatever the move is going to be. But the bears will argue that, wait a second, we have a rising wedge, which typically leads to more downside. Although it's not guaranteed, that is one way to kind of look at this. The bears will argue this is a rising wedge, but the bulls will argue that we're on a nice uptrend. So there's two interpretations of this. I prefer just being very unbiased and just waiting to see which way we end up going. On the IWM and the QQQ, we have very, very interesting trends that are developing. On the triple Q first, I just want to say that we basically have this rising wedge-like pattern as well. And we're at resistance near the all-time high around 613. Break 613, then we could go for 615. But if we can't break 613, this could turn back down to fill the gap near 604. So you want to be very, very careful with where the QQQ happens to be. On the IWM, we're making higher lows right now. As long as you don't lose 245, we're going to be favoring like 250s our resistance, and we'll see if we reject or not. But as of right now, I think this might be going a little bit higher. Could be going for 248 than 250. And if that breaks, then we might be going for the highs. But be careful at 250. The closer we get to the 250s, the many times we've rejected near that area. So be very mindful of that, especially if we have a gap here and another gap down below. On ES, we're looking more bullish, but keep in mind around the 6800s, there's a lot of resistance up here. The closer we get to 6800, the more we reject. So I could see 6800. We'll see if we reject off that back down to 6714. So I just want to warn you guys to be careful. On NQ, we're also testing resistance right here at 25,380, and we'll see if we get a rejection or not. But keep in mind, there is support to be watching for around 25,000, and we'll see how it goes. On Bitcoin, we're on a technically it's on a downtrend overall, but we're testing a resistance to see if we can try to break this. If we get back above this trend line, we're looking for 114,000. If we reject it, we could be dipping back down towards 107,000. So we'll see if we get a rejection or not. Tesla, however, looks more bullish. As long as we don't lose 439, we're going to be favoring 450 or above. We're looking pretty good right now. For Nvda, we also have a nice looking trend right here. We have 183 is our resistance, and we have support down here at 181. We're just range bound going back and forth for now, so we're going to see what happens as we get close to 181. On Appl once again has a nice looking double bottom. We're going to see if we can break past 265 or not, or if we end up losing 260. I am favoring an attempt for 265, and we'll see if it rejects off that. There is some tough resistance up there. Palantir is testing tough resistance near 184. The closer we get to 184, the more we've rejected 1, 2, and 3 times. So break 184, we're bullish. If we can't, we're going to likely return to like 179. On AMT, we have resistance at 244. We need to break that to continue. If not, we could be tipping back down towards 235. Coinbase is consolidating up here. It needs to hold above 353. If not, we could be retesting 338 for a temporary move down. Amazon, however, looks more bullish, favoring 218. Despite their outages, they're doing quite well. We have resistance at 733. We're going to see if this rejects or not. It might go a little higher for like 735, and we'll see how it goes. Google looks more bullish as long as we don't end up losing 251. We're favoring 260 as our target. It looks more bullish for now. And then Microsoft looks a little bit more bullish. We could be looking for like 518 than 520. Also, the VIX looks bearish, could be dipping a little bit more as the market goes a bit higher. But I just want to warn you all to be very careful with SPY and the QQQ. As the market's pushing higher, be careful because we're nearing all-time highs. And the last time we touched these levels, the market got a big rug pull. So we will see if that happens again or not. But overall, we're still holding up well, so keep that in mind. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Can we break resistance and continue to squeeze on SPY? If we break the all-time high, we're going to likely try to go higher. But if we don't, we could still get a big rejection, especially as SPY and the QQQ have rising wedges. However, they tend to be 50-50 nowadays. They don't always just pan out, so we'll see about that. For now, I'm going to be very unbiased, so watch your levels and do what you have to do, guys. Thank you all so much for listening, and peace out.